Okay, we're live. Uh, I don't expect to have a lot of people watching because I have been so censored and take this off. My hair is greasy a little bit, guys, so it is what it is. Yeah, it's not that bad. Um, this is just I'm getting ready to cook for Thanksgiving today and is what it is. But I wanted to jump on here. I'm going to be doing these live streams every morning, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings at 10 Central. That's 9 a.m. Eastern and wait, no, it's 11 a.m. Eastern and it's 8 a.m. Pacific. So I'll be streaming on YouTube as long as I can, as long as I can stay on here. I will also be posting these videos on Rumble, so you can click the links below to follow me on Rumble. You can also go to annemariemichaels.com and subscribe for my email updates. And that way I post the videos after the fact on there. So if you miss one, you can get my email updates and you'll always get the videos. I talk about health. I talk about politics. I talk about the news because there's so much of it going on right now, and it does directly influence health. It's funny because people say, why do you talk so much about politics? Well, I mean, hello, it's like really completely destroyed my business, completely everything, right? That's what this it's everything. So yeah, we have to talk about it. Um hopefully, we can go back to just fun recipes and stuff like that soon, but right now we're fighting for our lives. And if you haven't noticed that, you might be sleeping still. If you're watching this though, you're not, because if you found me, you're not sleeping. I'm most likely. Anyway, all right. So what we're going to talk about today is health. And I made this video a while back, and then I went through divorce the last few weeks, and so I wasn't able to upload it. So maybe I'll upload that one again later because I'm sure I said different things. And I just can't post this kind of stuff often enough because it's so buried. The stuff that I'm going to talk about today is so buried and hard to find. By the way, on Fridays, I'm going to be doing Ask Me Anything. So if you want to ask me anything, you can email me at annemariemichaels.com. You can also comment. I'm more likely to see it if you email it to me, but you can comment on the different socials and hopefully I'll get it. But ideally, email it to me and then I will answer your questions on Fridays. I'm also considering doing paid consultations, just a small fee to do an hour-long consultation with me. If anybody's interested in that, email me. I may be doing that. So I'm going to do my disclaimers, and then I will talk about what we need to talk about here. Because here's the deal. Anything can be reversed, almost anything. Now, if you chop your leg off, you get your leg chopped off, maybe not. We can't do that yet. Grow back a leg yet. That's very possible at some point. But there are solutions for people that lost legs. There are a lot of things that happen to people that can be reversed though. And I would say the great vast majority, probably over 90%. And so as long as you're living, there's something you can do to resolve it. Now, I have been a health blogger. I am not a doctor. I am not a medical professional. As I said, when I talk about money, when I talk about business, when I talk about any of the things I talk about, do your own research. Look into the stuff yourself. I did, and I cured myself. And I have been healthy ever since. I've been healthy for over a quarter of a century, just by looking into things and then following the logical path. So I'm going to talk about what that is. Having been a health blogger for 15 years and researching this stuff longer than that, because like I said, I cured myself 25 years ago. And I will talk about what I cured myself of and how I did it. Having been a health blogger for 15 years, I learned a lot because, there's a lot of health influencers and content creators and authors out there, gurus. A lot of what they say, some of it's good, some of it's not good, some of it's wrong, um, some of it's really wrong. Most of it, though, while they mean well, a lot of it is misguided. Why? Because not that it's not wrong. Look, it's good to eat organic food. Don't get me wrong. I believe in that, and I try to buy organic, especially in certain cases, like bones. Bones, animals with bones. When I buy a whole chicken, I do buy it organic because I know that it is the pesticides that are full of fluoride that get stored in the bones. So when I use those bones to make bone broth, I really need it to be organic. So I don't make bone broth from or non-organic chickens. That's one example. But do I buy everything organic? Absolutely not. Do I eat organic all the time? Absolutely not. It's almost impossible. If you eat in restaurants, eat over other people's houses, whatever, that's where you go cray cray. That's where you get too extreme and you become orthorexic, which is to have a irrational fear of food. Anyway, a lot of these bloggers and content creators, they mean well, but when I was really in the heyday of my blogging, 10 years ago, everybody was focused on the food. We're focused on GMOs, focused on which food should you eat, which food should you not eat, is gluten bad, this, that, and the other. Well, no, gluten's not bad. It's not. Sugar's not bad. These things are not as bad for you as they're made out to be. Why is so much focus put on it? Because they don't want to look at the elephant in the room. And we're going to talk about that elephant today. Leave it to me to always bring you the elephant. um, anyway, so we're going to talk about what it is that's really making us sick. And after 15 years of blogging and over 25 years of looking into this, reading about it, researching it, it's three things primarily that are making us sick: metals, microbes, and mindset. And really, mindset should be first, but I'm going to talk about it last because it's so hard for people to understand, to think about, well, wow, changing my mind could actually change my condition. Okay. It's the first thing. It's the first thing. And if you don't have the mindset to change, if you think, well, I have this condition and there's no way to fix it because my doctor told me blah, 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 right? And I have to be on this medication and I'm doing this and that and it's not working. That's your mindset. You've got to get out of that. The first thing I did when they told me that I had a condition, I don't really want to say conditions on this because I am on FluffTube and, they're sensitive to that kind of thing. So what I'll say is it was a condition, starts with an A, and it makes your joints really hurt. Okay. I had really bad knees, spread to my elbows, spread to my hands. This was in my 20s. I was 25 years old, very, very sick, could not sleep through the night without discomfort. I'll use the word discomfort, but you know the P word. A lot of P, AIN. And so forgive the way that I talk because I have to do that on here. I want to reach a wider audience. That's why I'm on here. I am going to be posting on Rumble, but if I can reach a wider audience and people can share this video, then it's better. Okay, so what I was able to cure my situation, and this was a diagnosis, the A disease. I'll just say this: rheumatoid A. Okay. I had it. Um, I was 25 when I was diagnosed, and I completely reversed it. Completely. How did I do that? It did take a couple years, but what I did was with supplements and food. Now, I think with the things I'm going to tell you about in this video and in the book that I'm writing called Metals, Microbes and Mindset, that's the book that I'm working on. Kind of like Jared Diamond's Guns, Germs, and Steel, but it's Metals, Microbes and Mindset. Um, I really, the tools that I'm going to tell you about that I have now are so much more powerful. I think I probably could have cured this within 6 months. I think so. Definitely within a year. It wouldn't have taken as long. I just didn't know about these things. Okay. Maybe even 3 months. I'm telling you, these tools are very powerful. Now, I don't know how sick you are. I don't know what you got going on, but whatever you've got going on, um, there should be no chronic situations going on. There should be nothing. I'm talking, I'm talking the other A disease the kids get. That shouldn't be. They are reversing it. They were reversing it, and I'm gonna tell you about the things that they used. And I have to be very careful how I talk about it, so please bear with me. Maybe at some point I'll make this video, but I'll make it just, plain talk, and I'll put it over on Rumble. Um, so the thing that people have started getting that starts with an A, um, kids mostly, well, always kids, right? Um, where they can't make eye contact and, they get very aggressive and a lot of emotional and behavioral problems. Yeah, that is reversible. And there were people that were doing it and they got banned off of Facebook and all these things. They got taken down. And some people, I believe, got unalived over that. So that's why people can't talk about it. But I'm going to find a way to put it out here to you. I don't think people are still being unalived over it. That was happening um, before Mr. T took office. We got a lot more to talk about with all of that, so we won't get into that today. All right, here's what it is: metals, microbes, and mindset. We talked a little bit about mindset. I'll talk about it more in a minute, because if you don't, you have to start there. If you don't think that you can reverse whatever it is you have, then you won't. You just won't. Uh, and there are things that can be completely reversed just with mindset. Absolutely. But that's harder for people to take in. So that's why I'm going to talk about it last. So we'll start with metals and then we'll talk about microbes. Um, we have seen an epidemic level of chronic disease happen in the last few decades. Epidemic. Now, is there such a thing as a genetic epidemic? No, it, it doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense. There was a pediatrician saying this about the A disease um, years ago. And yeah, it doesn't make sense. But what does make sense is it's something in our environment. So, what do I mean when I say metals? Well, probably the biggest one is aluminum. I would say that's the biggest one. There's also mercury. Now, these are toxic metals. There are other metals as well in smaller amounts. It's in our water, it's in our air, it's in our food, it's in our earth, right? So it gets into our food. You've heard about brown rice. Oh gosh, now the dog's barking. Okay, well, we're just gonna have to deal with it. Say a prayer that the dog stops barking, please. So these, my kids are home this week. That's why it's a little bit tough for me. But anyway, we'll get through it. So metals, aluminum. Now, fluoride is, oh, that's why the dog was barking. I'm doing a live stream, so you're going to have to let me I'll be done in 1 hour. Thank you. Fluoride is not a metal, but it does increase the metals in your body. And fluoride is a huge problem. So that's why I am going to talk about it in my book. because it is a big issue. It's added to our water, and it's in a lot of our foods. So I'll get into that in more detail. You can also go to my blog, annemariemichaels.com, and type in fluoride, and I've written a lot about it in the past. So the biggest sources of these metals, yeah, in food, in water, those are two. But the biggest is in the drugs. And that's why it's people don't want to talk about it. Can you go and talk to the dog and try to get him to calm down? You could take him for a walk. Huh? Oh, you just did. Okay. Well, if we stay up here, he'll stop in just a minute. So when you consume these metals, whether you breathe them in, you consume them physically, them, oh, well, it would be up here, right? Not here, but you know what I'm saying. When you do that, they build up in your body over time. Fluoride, for example, has a 20-year half-life. And what that means is if you consume fluoride, yeah, even in toothpaste, in your water, in your food, it's very highly concentrated, like I was saying, in the bones of animals because it's in the pesticides. So if you make bone broth with non-organic bones, you will be consuming a lot of fluoride. And so if you do that and then you stop eating fluoride, or consuming fluoride, that fluoride that you consumed that stays in your body will be there for 20 years. It's a 20-year half-life. So you have to try to find a way to get it out. There are ways to get it out. And I'm going to talk about that right now. The number one way to get it out, and I've just discovered it this year. And it's amazing. It's amazing. Any metals that are toxic, you can get out, and you can do it relatively quickly with this thing. And this is why this thing that I'm going to talk about is like pretty much censored everywhere. You can't talk about it, and I can't even use the word. What? I have the peanut gallery here. So before I tell you what it is, let's talk about microbes. What are microbes? When I say microbes, I mean parasites. That is the other thing I believe. And this is after 15 years of blogging, watching, seeing, looking at everything, seeing who's getting better, also doing a lot of biohacking, and not just me doing biohacking, but watching other people do biohacking. So microbes is parasites. You know that A disease that I was talking about that the kids get? Do you know that there were people who were curing them? Um, and how they were doing it was with the stuff that I'm going to talk about. And when they were working with these kids, they were excreting worms, parasites, parasitic worms. Sorry. Okay. It's not funny, and he's making me laugh, but it's pretty horrifying, but it is pretty common. Now, the most recent thing that we just saw this last few years starts with a C. You know what I'm talking about. Is also parasites and metals. Now, if you go on a platform like BitChute, you can look for this, maybe Rumble. You can look for this. They had videos of the paper, these, that people were wearing everywhere for a while. And you put them over a pot of boiling water. You can see little black things squiggling around on there.
And those are the parasites.
Those are the parasites in the masks. They also found them in the testing Q-tips. I won't say the word. Trying to avoid the words. Testing swabs. They found them. They also found them in the vials of these. So what are these black squiggly things? Well, I think it's metals and parasites. It's not a coincidence that in 2020, the movie that swept the Oscars, you can go look it up, the name of it was Parasite. Okay. So parasites and metals are the two things, other than mindset, right? Because you can make yourself sick over PTSD, trauma. You can definitely stay sick for that reason. But if you decide that you want to get healthy and you decide that you want to overcome and use your mind and use any tools you can use to help recover, you can do it very quickly. All right, so that's the overview. I don't want to go into it too long. I'm going to go into it much more detail in my book. You have sleep in your eye.
I know.
But let's talk about the two tools. Three. I have three. Three is the magic number, right? Three tools I think that are going to make a huge impact. Actually, I'll say four. I'll say four because there is one other. Okay, number one is what I call pool water. Now, I've been talking about this for a little while on Facebook. Most people don't know, can't find me on Facebook because, you know, I got my my profile taken down in 2020, and go sit, please. Okay. But I'm there. I'm on. You go to AnneMarieMichaels.com, and at the top it says follow me, and you can find the places to follow me. Anyway, I started on this pool water back in March of 2022. So it's just been several months, and some amazing things have happened. I was really sick at the end of 2021. I couldn't get out of bed. I think it was after going to church and a lot of activities during the holidays of last year. And I'll tell you what, people are transmitting this. Some people say shedding, but it's not really shedding. It's a transmission. And when you hang around with other people a lot, even if you haven't had this, you're going to get the symptoms. Because if people are consuming through this, if they're consuming parasites and metals, it's going to spread, right? So it doesn't even matter whether you got this. Now, is it going to be worse the more you get? Yes. But are you still going to get sick? Yes. If you are around people who have had it. So that's the irony, it's great irony that they all told us those of us that didn't get this, we weren't allowed to be around other people. And it turns out they're the ones spreading it. So what do you do? This pool water. So go to AnneMarieMichaels.com. I will put the link below when you're watching this, the replay. Go to AnneMarieMichaels.com, and at the very top, it says pool water. Just click on that, and it will take you to, I think I still have it. Hold on, make sure it's still up there in my menu. That link will take you to, yes, it's in the very top menu. That will take you to my post about the pool water, what it is, explain it. There's a whole on that main page. There's a video. There's an FAQ. There's a video to watch, a documentary about it. You can learn all about it. I had to look into all of it before I really understood what it was. And I don't think we can. This is just the way it's going to be for Thanksgiving, guys, because he's home from school. So that video, that pool water page will take you to the recipe, how to make it. You can make it for less than $5 a month. I don't make any money from this stuff. It's all on Amazon. You can literally get everything from Amazon. How'd you get that? And I don't even have Amazon affiliate links anymore because they canceled me. But less than $5 a month. I show you how to make it on my blog. It's very simple and anyone can do it. And I've been drinking this for, basically it's disinfected water is what it is. And because all of our water is so infected and our food and inside of our bodies are infected now with these these parasites and these metals. So this pool water takes out metals and it takes out parasites of all kinds. On my blog, I have a link to the book. There's a book by I can't even say his name because he is so, public enemy number one. But his name starts with an A and his last name is Kalker. I can say that. It starts with a K, Kalker. And if you look up that on my blog, you'll see a way to get his book, which you can download off of Telegram. You can also go to his website and pay for it. You can't even get it on Amazon. It is called Forbidden Health, is the name of his book. So that's a great book. The dog's barking again. I should have done this today earlier, but whatever. Okay, so that will take out all parasites except for one kind, and that is worms. The only thing it won't take out is worms. And I'll talk about that in a second. It will take out all of these toxic metals. It'll help remove the aluminum, which, you want to talk about Alzheimer's, you want to talk about all these other things. You need to get the aluminum out. So mercury is another one that people have a hard time chelating that. So if you're not, let me start by saying this. If you're not filtering your water, you need to be filtering your water. I will put a link below to my link for Berkey. I use a Berkey filter. It's very easy to use. Please, come on. It's only half an hour longer. I recommend the Berkey. There's been rumors that Berkey doesn't filter. It does. What they were looking at was the total solids. They're still solids because it doesn't take the minerals out with the Berkey. Berkey is very affordable, and they are having a Black Friday sale this week, so I'll put my link below. Also, follow me on my blog, and I'll be posting my review of using a Berkey for 11 years and my results. I should also say, you can see a little bit of my gray hair here. See that? But 90% of my gray hair went away. Stop. Drinking this water. I swear to God. It's amazing. I also my skin got a lot better. And I started sleeping 6 hours a night instead of needing 8 hours. I can go as little as 4 to 5 hours now with no problems. Going through divorce recently, I've been needing more to like 6 to 7 hours, but I don't need 8 hours anymore. And I don't need to nap during the day. So, it's amazing stuff. And so whatever you've got going on, most likely is a result of metals and microbes. And if you use this water as a basis, which I keep a liter of it in the fridge. I show you how to do it on my recipe page on my blog. Again, just click the pool water button at the top of my link at the top of my blog, AnneMarieMichaels.com. I keep a liter of it in the fridge, and then I just drink it throughout the day. And it's got the CD in it. It's called CDS. Okay, so that is what I do. That's number one, what I do. And I filter my water. I filter all the water that we use for drinking and cooking, and everyone should, because the water that we're drinking is poison. Oh, so that's number one, okay, is your water. Number two is let's talk about the worms right now. So you can't get all of the parasites out. And if you have worms, which most of us do, don't be surprised. That's why we have to deworm our pets, right? Like I said, the kids that had the A condition,
and dogs,
they had worms. The one woman that was running this Facebook group, her son had so many worms. She kept them in jars because she said that if she didn't, they wouldn't believe her. These videos all got taken off everywhere. They're probably still on BitChute. Anyway, you could type in worms and the A word and see what you find. Don't know if you can still find it. I haven't looked lately. But yeah, she talks about it a lot. I don't want to even put her name here because she's another enemy of the medical industrial complex. And her name's Carrie, and her last name starts with an R, and it's like a river with an A at the end. That's her name. She was the one that was helping cure all these kids. It's river with an A on the end. I'm not going to say it because of the algorithm. All right, so that's first thing. So if you have worms, which you probably do, and even if you don't, you need to be doing a deworming every so often. I would say at least twice a year, ideally quarterly. It came to me recently. That's why we do Advent. That's why we do Lent before the holidays. Twice yearly, we do a anti-parasitic cleanse. They do it. They recommend doing it during the full moon. On my blog, type in parasite. And there will be a blog post called the Parasite Protocol. I'll put the link below. Shh, please.
You say what?
So, let's make notes of what I need to put. You know what? I'll put this all in the show notes, not on YouTube, because
No.
I don't want the links to get flagged. But I will put it. Okay. Thank you. So, Parasite Protocol is on my blog. Type that in and you can learn how to do it. You want to do it during the full moon, ideally, because that's when they're the most active. Okay?
What?
The worms.
Oh.
It used to be common for our grandparents to give us castor oil, and castor oil is an antiparasitic. It actually kills parasites faster and better than antiparasitic drugs. So that's one of the things we do in the Parasite Protocol. Anyway, read that blog post. You read the Forbidden Health book and you'll learn more. In the show notes, I'll put the Forbidden Health as well. All this stuff. But I'm not going to put the links directly on YouTube. I want you to go over to my blog and get them because otherwise we'll get flagged. Okay, so water, pool water, anti-parasitic protocol, at least a couple times a year, but ideally. And if you are very sick, you might need to do it every full moon for a period of, 6 months. I don't know how long it's going to take you to really get them out. It takes a while. It's a process. These creatures, these parasites are very, they're sentient. They're very smart. They're not going to want you to get them out. We got to drain the swamp.
I thought they were dumb.
Well, they're smart for what they are. So it takes a while. But it's not painful. It's not difficult. You don't have to go on a special diet. You just have to do the anti-parasite protocol.
Not really. To go in a pool.
You drink the pool water, but you don't really have to change your diet too much. You want to filter your water. But as far as do you need to go on a special diet? No, I just recommend real food. So let's talk about diet in a minute. What is that? Did you scratch yourself? Let's talk about diet in a minute. But before I do, the third thing, so water, pool water. What? I'll talk to you in just a minute.
Okay.
30 minutes. Okay, sorry. I don't know how many things there are now. I'm getting so distracted, but I know you can relate. Water, pool water. So filter your water, pool water, anti-parasitic protocol. Next, number 4 is the collagen elixir that I recommend. Not all collagens work. Everybody knows we should be on collagen, okay? And I just discovered this a few months ago. Everybody knows collagen, right? That's why we drink bone broth. Ideally, you should be drinking organic and cooking with organic bone broth. But it's full of collagen. There's so many reasons that you need collagen. So many reasons. And it's not just your skin, your hair, your nails. It's not just for looking younger, feeling younger. It's for your brain, the brain chemicals, depression, anxiety, just feeling happy. I've written a lot about that over the years. Dr. Julia Ross talks about eating a real food diet, which is a lot of protein and gelatin, which is collagen. Making sure that you are using bone broth as a basis for your diet. Why? Because that is what is going to give you the healthy, happy brain chemicals. It's also the building blocks of our bodies. So if you are sick and you have damaged cells from these various things that I'm talking about, metals and microbes, you need to rebuild your cells. You need the building blocks of cells, and that is what collagen is. That is what collagen is. Now, not all collagens are the same. I used to recommend Vital Proteins. I do not recommend Vital Proteins anymore because even though I liked them, I was friends with them. They were former clients of mine, but they have been sold to Nestle, also a former client of mine when I was working in advertising. I don't trust Nestle. I would not trust their product anymore. The reason I do promote Bella Grace and I have an affiliate link, and they are having a Black Friday sale this week. So I'll put all that information as well on my show notes. Is because this is unlike any other. It is grass fed for one thing. I do trust the source, but furthermore, and I do trust the company, but furthermore, it's got astaxanthin and it's got cat's claw. And if you research those and learn about those, which I have in my link, which I'll put in the show notes, there's nothing like this. It works like nothing else. I mean, we're talking about, hair growth. We're talking about skin. We're talking about helping with sleep and energy. And I'll use the word discomfort. Okay. All kinds of things. So this one supplement really is the only supplement that I recommend other than the pool water. That's it. I have a cupboard full of supplements. And when I move out this month to my new house, wherever it is, I haven't found it yet. I'm not going to be taking all that. I'm leaving it for my ex-husband. I don't need any of it. We don't need any of it. We might take activated charcoal or something, for when somebody gets food poisoning or something, but most of that stuff I don't need. Okay. Caveat, I do still have the castor oil and a few of the things that we use for the antiparasitics, but that's it. Okay, that's it. These are the only things that I'm doing. In addition, so I'm going to wrap this up pretty soon because I've got a child that needs to eat, I'm guessing. The other thing I'll say, the fifth thing, it's 5 things now, is something called Hydra Shot. I am not taking this, but I would take it if I had issues with my heart or if I had gotten this. I would take it. Probably should take it anyway, but I'm just on a severe budget right now. The collagen that I'm recommending is not cheap, but that's how much I believe in it. That even though I've had all my income taken away, almost all of it, and I'm barely making anything right now, I'm still taking this collagen. I'm paying for it myself because that's how much I believe in it. And I'm perfectly healthy. I'm perfectly healthy. I won't even get into my whole story about how I cured myself. I'll put it in the show notes. Okay, so you can go read it. But if I'd had these tools, I would have gotten healthy a lot faster because I understand what it was that was making me sick. Okay. So this Hydra Shot, I'll put the link for it below. I don't know if they're having a Black Friday sale. I'll check. It's just a drink that you drink every day. You're not supposed to add ice to it. You just drink it plain. It is molecular hydrogen. And what it does is the guy that founded the company and figured out how to make it stabilized went from having heart problems, bad heart problems. They were going to have to, he'd done like multiple surgeries, to going back to the doctor and saying, you have a normal heart of an 18-year-old. He's in his 60s. So this stuff is amazing. It's nitrous oxide, and that is what we breathe in. We create it when we breathe in through our nose, not through our mouth. If you have a narrower jaw and a narrower palate, you're not going to get as much nitrous oxide.
I do.
And if you're not breathing and
I
exercising a lot, it also forms in our heart. But a lot of us have not enough.
Do
So
I not?
you do, you're fine. So that's why I recommend this Hydra Shot. I'll put a link to it as well. So those are the 5 things that I recommend for the metals and the microbes, which are going to account for everything in life is 80-20, and 80% of what's wrong with us is this. It's this. Okay. And it's, you go to your doctor and they give you one of these, and then they give you some of these, and I have to go because I can't continue with this. I'll try to make another video again soon. But before I do, I want to say one more thing about mindset. I'll put some links in about mindset. It's belief. It's really about belief. And you can read the Bible. You can go to church. You can pray. All of these things are very, very powerful to transform your health if you believe. I also want to recommend to anyone Dr. Joe Dispenza. You can go to his YouTube channel. You can go to his read his books and practice what he says. It's all about belief. Okay. If you don't believe that you can get better, you're not going to. You don't even need all the stuff I'm talking about. You could probably just mind over matter, get better. But most of you don't believe in that because we've been so, stop that, brainwashed by, you know, the word pharmakia in the Bible. It's translated as sorcery, but it's pharmakia in Greek. All the nations of the world shall be deceived by sorcery, by pharmakia. So that's why, you know, it's like, well, if your mindset really works, which it will. I mean, look at Dr. Joe Dispenza's story of how he healed his back after being hit by a Jeep. He healed his back completely with his mind. But most people don't believe that. So if you can use these tools to help and start seeing results, it works. Now, you don't have to believe me. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, but I'm 54 years old. I'm not on any medications. I sleep 6 hours a night at the most. I have tons of energy all throughout the day. I'm really happy. Even though I'm going through really hard, terrible times right now. How can you not laugh at that? You know, I'm very healthy. So if you have health issues, you don't have to. And you don't need to be gluten intolerant, okay? You don't need to avoid sugar. I mean, you shouldn't eat,
You shouldn't.
buckets full.
Yeah.
But you can eat sugar. You can eat gluten. You should be able to do all this stuff. You shouldn't have issues. If you have issues, it's because you have parasites. It's because you have metals, okay? If you're overweight and you can't lose weight, that's a mindset thing. That's a mindset thing. Now, you may have issues with your hormones. Again, metals and microbes and mindset, okay? These are the 3 things. All right, I'm going to feed him some breakfast. I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you enjoy your time with your families.
Happy Turkey Day.
And happy Turkey Day. And I'm going to put all these show notes for you. If you have questions for me, please email me at annemarie@annemariemichaels.com. You can also come and join me on Facebook. I think that's on go to my annemariemichaels.com. At the very top, it says follow me, and there will be a link to my Facebook there. Add me as a friend on Facebook. I'm trying to get back to all that. If you look like a real person, I'll usually add you back. Yeah, you can ask me on there as well. Ask me your questions, and I'll be answering questions this Friday morning live here on YouTube. So send me your questions. You can also just show up with your questions, and I will answer your questions on Friday. And I'm going to make sure he has something to do on Friday so that we don't have this situation again.
What's
As much as-
Friday?
I'm doing a live stream.
What's Friday?
I don't know. We're going to find somewhere for you to go. As much as we love having him entertain us, it is a bit distracting. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Turkey Day. Turkey.